welcome to our third episode of On the Front Row. And today we have an amazing guest that I've been dying to speak with. She's Nkiru, the founder of Zephans and Co. If you're a fashion lover in the Nigeria scene and the African scene and you don't know a brand, you're definitely living under a rock. And today we're just going to be diving into the fun side and the more serious side and the realities of running a ready-to-wear brand in Nigeria that is also facing a global scale. We're so excited to have you today, Nkiru. Welcome to On the Front Row.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here as well.
Amazing, amazing. And you just rounded up a drop.
Yeah,
Congratulations. How did it
thank
go? Tell
you.
us about it.
So, this ginger was something that is something we've never done before, sponsor an Hollywood movie. And so when the opportunity came, because that's what I'll call it, at the time it didn't seem like an opportunity, but it was just like, oh, are you interested in doing this? Bisola had brought it to us. And I was just like, I don't know. It's not something we've done before, but I have a very big risk appetite. Maybe that's what has brought us this far. I'm happy. I'm always willing to try new things, and I was just like, bring it on, let's try. And then we did it. And when I tell you it has been record breaking. Like the only time that we would usually have the kind of numbers that we've experienced in the past couple of weeks would be during like festive, like December, and this drop has surpassed even our best December. So
Amazing.
I'm so happy that we did it. I'm so happy that we took a chance on Ginger. And I'm really hoping that I'm looking forward to like more partnerships like this. Yeah.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, and I think it's spot on because if you even look at Hollywood, which is kind of like, the largest scheme of things, there's always been the collaboration between fashion houses and movie theater in terms of sponsoring movies. I think one that was brilliant last year was Challengers, where Jonathan Anderson designed, for the movie,
Yeah,
and it was great. And he also
it
just
was
kind of
great. Yeah.
is cross collaboration between both industries. But
Yeah.
amazing, very, very brilliant of
It's
you,
not
and
something that you
congrats
see
on the
often.
success. Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much. It's not something that you see often. There was nobody for me to ask, oh, what do you guys think? I was just like, we're doing this, and then we're just like, you don't know what's gonna come out of it, but it was amazing. Jeez, record
I can
breaking.
still hear the elation in your voice.
I
Awesome.
know it's yeah, and then he also just shows us like one thing that it showed me was it's time to scale again. Because now, what that did for us, it opened us to a whole different market, a whole
Hmm.
different market that we didn't, we have like new customers that are like, oh, we didn't even, you guys have been here, we didn't even know that a brand like this
Hmm.
existed. So I'm really happy that we took the chance and did that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I know that we jumped right into it, like we just went right into it. But then for those out there that don't know Zephans and Co yet, how would you describe the brand in one sentence?
Ha, in one sentence. Zephans and Co is a female ready-to-wear brand that highlights Nigerian fashion with modern silhouettes. So when I say Nigerian fashion, I kind of feel like as Nigerians, we have our own style. I feel like whenever I go out, like even when I'm abroad, when I see a Nigerian, I can almost always tell that they're Nigerian by the way that they dress. I don't know if it makes sense to you, but I just feel like as Nigerians, Nigerians are so stylish.
Mhm.
Nigerians are so stylish. So like the whole idea of Zephans and Co was just, to create something that kind of highlighted how we would dress and what's it called and still make it like accessible. So it's not like high fashion designer, we're just trying to like pick pieces or well should I say like bits and pieces of style from like different genres and just put it together, mash it up and just make it accessible to everyone, accessible to the world. Yeah, so that's what Zephans and Co. That's like, just a
Props.
just a little bit of what Zephans and Co. So if you were going to a wedding and maybe your designer disappointed you, you can walk into the store and you would definitely find something to wear. If you're going for a board meeting, whatever it is, you would definitely find something to wear at the store. Yeah.
One word you've used repeatedly when you were describing the brand is accessibility, and I'm going to come back to that in a
Okay.
bit. Just to warm up a bit more, what was the very first outfit that you designed for yourself, and do you still have it?
Yes, I do. It was my mom. So I took my mom's oversized shirt and I made it into a dress.
Oh, amazing.
Wool and thread.
Oh, bravo.
First thing, so I wool and thread, cut it up, and then I felt like that was when I kind of knew that there's something
There's
here.
something.
There's something here. Yeah, I still have it. Doesn't size like it's not my size anymore, but I still have it
You
just
still
for
have
like
it.
keepsake, you know.
Awesome. And
Hmm.
like when you started a business, what was the moment you realized like, okay, this is no longer a side hustle, this is a full business? Because I know you didn't just jump in, into full corporate mode into building a
Yeah,
fashion brand. You started out with drops but
yeah.
when did you realize, when did you get to that milestone where you're like, okay, I'm actually
I
doing
think I
something
think
big?
I think it was in 2020 when I realized that we were not meeting demand. We were getting more demand
Mm,
than we could produce. And that's when I realized that okay, this was 4 years after we launched. We started
mhm,
getting way more. And so we had to keep increasing it. And that's when I realized, okay, we might have like a big business on our hands. Yeah.
mm. Awesome. And what has been the scariest decision you've taken so far in building Zephans and Co?
Open our Lekki store. At the
Una.
time, it seemed like so I was still in the same 2020, you
Yeah.
know. At the time, you see, the rent was ridiculous and they were trying to get us to pay for like 2 years. And I was like, this is such a big risk because then we didn't have a lot of walking customers. We had our store in Adire
Mm,
Estate, you know, and we didn't have a lot of walking customers, but we had so many customers on the island. So I just kept
mm,
on saying, if we had a store on the island, it would be easier for our customers to come in and try on and then they can buy more. But the money was, I was using like our entire savings to
mm.
open the store. So it was such a scary decision. It was such a big risk, but it paid off.
Awesome. Awesome.
There's no other decision that I've had to make for Zephans and Co that I've prayed and worried and thought about like that one. Yeah.
Thankfully, you were able to make it work out in the end.
Because if it hadn't worked out, we would have been broke. Would have been so broke. But it worked out. I'm so grateful for that. Yeah.
So we're going to dive right now into kind of like the myth of it and to like the behind the scenes, the realities of running a business, behind the glamour, behind the beautiful drops, behind the successful collaborations. Let's talk about the reality of running a ready-to-wear brand in Nigeria. So you're one of the few brands who have been able to have that brand recognition and also have the skill where you're not just meeting local demand, you're also meeting a global demand.
Yeah.
And if you had to describe the key challenges and areas that keep you awake in your business from day to day, what would that be?
Logistics is number
Mm,
one. Logistics is number one because you can do everything right, but getting the your products to the right people can be a very big challenge in
mm,
Nigeria. For Lagos, like orders that are domiciled in Lagos, it's easier because you know that's just. But then when you now have to start shipping outside Lagos and outside Nigeria is the biggest nightmare because the cost of shipping outside Nigeria is more expensive than the cost of one dress.
well,
You know, when we started in 2016, I would say that 40% of our customers were in America, right? It was so easy, shipping was cheaper, you know, but every year we use DHL and DHL is like they have like a monopoly of the market, you know, and the other smaller players wait for DHL to increase. So if you're hoping that, oh, if DHL increases, I can go to the next person, that never works out because as soon as DHL increases, every other person increases, and then it just like maybe 1,000 naira shorter than or
mm,
lesser than the. So it's like it's ridiculous. So that has drastically reduced our international orders, like by a lot, by a whole lot, you know. So that's one of the challenges. I just every day I say I wish like a Nigerian, like an earpiece would start like an international delivery service where it's you know so that they have competition.
yeah.
It's such a hassle now getting our pieces abroad, you know, and then just recently the American president introduced the tariffs. So we were struggling to get them to pay that much for shipping. If now every American is like, why am I having to pay $50 for tariff? I already paid you for shipping. Why are you telling me to pay $57 for duty?
Yeah.
You know, it that will now also send it. I mean, you can already tell it's business. At the end, we're not the only ones who are selling. So now they will go
Yeah.
to other people. The beautiful, or should I say, the only advantage that we have is that we're giving you authentic Nigerian pieces, you know,
Mm,
like pieces that you cannot, this is not an ASOS, not a Zara. We're
yeah.
giving you authentic Nigerian fashion. You know, it's just that now you're having to pay a premium for something that should ordinarily be, you know, just high
Taking
street
away the
fashion.
accessibility
Exactly. So you're taking,
factor
yeah,
in
yeah,
your brand positioning. Yeah.
Exactly. It's taking the accessibility factor away. And that's one thing that we have thrived on for years. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's like right now, off the top of my head, that is a major challenge that we're facing. We're trying to figure out how we can, get, but even when you ship in bulk over there, you still pay a duty. And then now drives the price of the items up. So at the end of the day, it's like, which is better? Do we just continue as we're doing, or do we ship over there, pay, and then they pay more? But then imagine that you're seeing the price of a dress on our website for say $40, and then it's now in your country and we're telling you that the dress is now $80.
Hmm.
People will be like, oh no, but you said, so it's just getting us to have conversations that are so unnecessary. But
Unnecessary, yeah. You so
yeah.
many have to have so many caveats on the business before you order. Please note.
Yes, these
Yeah,
are
and
these are these are like the issues, and I don't know. Like a lot of people aren't talking. I mean, like when you ask like Nigerian ready to web founders, like what their issues are, what the problems, we'll talk about, staffing, all of that. That is also a major challenge, to be honest. But right now, like something that can affect your your profitability, that can affect, like how much you're able to export is this logistic. It's terrible. We're doing our numbers for like the last quarter compared to the second quarter. You can see the decline, in international, because this year alone DHL has increased twice. So it's been like a steady decline
twice.
in, yes, they've increased the cost of shipping twice. So there's been a steady decline for over the years in the amount of international orders that we receive. So I'm not sure how this is going to, I'm not sure what the nearest future holds for us. I'm not sure if it's like there's a solution coming up very soon, but it's something that keeps us up at night for sure. Yeah.
Interesting. And it
Mhm.
makes me want to go into another question that I kind of had but pushed down the line, which is kind of in terms of your where your supply is going to. There's a local market, which
Mhm.
there's still a big demand for, and there's also
Mhm.
the global market. Obviously, there are some pros and cons in which market to focus on. But then do you think this is also another opportunity for you to redirect in terms of making sure that you're satiating the local market and then keeping the global market, or is it global first versus local?
Oh no, for us it has always been local
Yeah.
first. But then when the global market opened up, we also like, what why choose when you can satisfy everyone,
Hmm.
Our local customers are actually they are our backbone, because at the
Yeah.
end of the day, these are the people who have stood with us. These are the people who kind of announced us to the world. You
Yeah.
understand? If we didn't start from here, if they did not start buying and posting and sharing with their people abroad, like,
Hmm.
so our local market has always been like what's it called? Like the first
Priority.
priority,
Hmm.
and they have also made for the better part of the business. They have made for the better part of our supply over the years, So even now that the decline in the foreign market has come in, our local market is still growing. It gets bigger every year, and maybe that's what has sustained us, right? But at the end of the day, you started a brand, you want to scale globally, you want to like we already ship to 52 countries. But now that is, and these are repeat customers. But I
Mm.
used to, if you can ship to 52, you want to ship to 60, you want to ship to 70. But then if all of these things, or if all of these issues are not fixed, like I don't know that, I don't know what next year is going to be like, but
And let's talk about fabric because I think one of your key strengths as Zephans and Co is you have, and I'm going to talk about the business model. We're going to go into business model very briefly, but then in terms of one of the appeal of your brands is the newness. So and it's fabric newness, not just design newness. There's
yeah.
always a new print. There's always a new, there's always a new texture. That was one of the strong appeals that you could. It was different in texture, fabric, print or
Yeah.
whatnot that you had. How is that in terms of you sourcing fabric, and then also sourcing locally and sourcing internationally? How has that been?
Yeah, it's been, I think that's probably my greatest strength. I love
Oh,
fabric. I love to source fabric more than anything. I love to source fabric. I stay up at night looking for fabric, looking for where I can buy fabric, looking for what is new, looking for, even last night I was let's not get into it, but yeah, that has been that is something that I absolutely enjoy doing. So when I started my mom had taken me to Aba because my mom was a fashion designer as when she was young, but then she is something that she put to the side when she started having kids, and then she just never went back to it. So when I told her I wanted to start my business, she took me to Aba, and that's where I bought like the most of and Aba then in 2015. Aba was like a gold mine. It was like a gold mine. I had no idea that we had because then you just Yaba or Lagos Island. I had no idea the kind of like how vast Aba was in terms of sourcing fabric. They have every single thing then. They had so much, they had accessories, they had like all manner of fabric. So when I went to Aba, my mom kept on telling me, focus, because I was in
There's a
awe.
lot.
I loved everything. I wanted this one, I wanted that one. I see this one. I'm like, oh my god, mommy, my mom would be like, here, you came here for a reason. Focus. So that's where I used to buy from. And for a lot of designers, they will tell you that they come up with the design first and then they decide what fabric is perfect for
Mhm.
it. I'm not like that. For me, it's the other way. I buy the fabric first and then I decide what I'm going to make with it. Because again, it's fast
And I think
fashion.
it definitely showed in your designs.
Exactly.
It
Like it
definitely showed
showed
in
you.
your
I
designs.
don't, I
Yeah.
don't, I don't, as long as I see it, I love it, I'm buying it, because so I would say that I have the eye for, I mean, I've come to realize that I have the eye
Mhm.
for fabric because sometimes I buy fabric, I'm looking at this fabric, I don't know what to make with it. And then one day it just comes and then I make it and it is such a hit. So yeah, I started at Abba. I bought everything that we're using, all our accessories, everything was coming from our laces, chiffon, all manner
Yeah.
was coming from Abba. And
Yeah.
then in 2018, I went to China for the first time. If I could bring if I could bring China to Nigeria, my goodness. Because obviously the people in Aba import from China, so
Mhm.
they dock on in River State and then push it to Aba. I don't know why we don't have that in Lagos, but then at the time, Aba is no longer the same, by the way.
Mm.
It's no longer, and again, that has to do with inflation, that has to do with the FX rates. So a lot of people have had to close down their businesses. So now I mostly go to China and also India. I buy
Mm.
fabric from everywhere, to be honest. I buy from Senegal. Sometimes I buy fabric from okay, Dakar is in Senegal. I buy from Ghana. So I buy fabric from as long as it appeals to me, I buy it. I find people on Instagram. So my whole Instagram explore page is filled with fabric vendors. I go to Abeokuta. I go to Abeokuta like I'm going to the markets because I go there for Adire.
Yeah.
So fabric sourcing for me has always been easy. It has been
Mhm.
because that's like my strength. That's my strong, like I'm a fabric person. Has always been easy for me. And a lot of Nigerian like braidwear founders. I've put them on as well, and people will be like, "Oh my God, I never knew you could get this here. I never knew you could get that here." You understand? I've had we used to make our custom fabric in India. So like it's for me. Fabric sourcing has been I've not had any challenge
Mm.
whatsoever. It has only gotten better over the years,
Awesome.
and um in when we talk to our customers about like the things that they love about the brand, most of the time they will tell you it's the fabric, it's the
Yeah.
print. You guys, because we will have people that will tell us, "Oh, why can't you make this in plain?" I'm like, that's not our vision. Our vision
Yeah.
is prints, like gorgeous, gorgeous prints, and that I think that is what has made us stand out over the years. Yeah, that's one thing. Our fabric designs, fabric prints has made us stand. And at the end of the day, it's a reflection of still this Lagos fashion, Lagos style. Like our fabrics are a reflection of
Colorful people.
us as a people, right? We like what we do. You enter anywhere, you take over the room. You enter any place, everybody looks at your outfit and they're like, "Oh my God, where's your outfit from?" That has always been the vision that I've had for Zephans and Co, and I'm just so happy to see it like come to reality.
Awesome. And I can so relate with the whole fabric excitement because I also used to go to Idumota and Lagos Island and go to the fabric and even from what I saw, it was like I was always like a kid in a candy store because it's like I want everything. Give me 2 yards of this, and I'm thinking I'll buy the fabric first, and I'll think go to my tailor and wonder what should I make with it. So I can imagine the scale and the excitement of going to Aba and then going to China.
Yes.
It should just be
Yes.
like so mind blowing.
Yeah.
But it's quite also sad to see how the industry has also evolved, even our local import industry. I know people give importation a flack saying that we are killing our local industry, but then the reality between sourcing locally and being able to meet demand, and also, using imports as a buffer or even as a first line strategy is different. And even let's talk about the price points in terms of the cost of buying local fabric, locally manufactured fabric, which would be our Adire Ashoke, versus importing prints or importing different fabric. What is that? What is the gap between both?
Our local fabric is definitely more expensive. So even when you look at our pricing on the website, like local fabrics that cost more than if I made like what I'm wearing in this is like obviously imported fabric on the website is 53.5, right? That's about maybe 40 $40 or $35. But if we made this in Nigeria, it'll be about 85,000, which is
Oh,
about $70
yeah,
and rightly so, because it's handmade. Adire takes time. It doesn't, you just don't, you don't print it and you have like 1,000 yards.
yeah.
And it's always limited. It is always limited because of how long it takes. So I'll give you an example. In this collection that we just put out, Ginger, I started making the fabric, one of the sets called Conga. I started making the fabric, I would say in August. And we could only get, this is October, right? We could only get 140 pieces total. And they have been making it since August. You can't compare that to
Yeah,
if I ordered in a day, they print 1,000 yards. You understand? And then you
yeah,
just wait for it to get to you.
yeah,
You just wait for shipping.
yeah,
So this is way more accessible than
yeah,
our full fabric.
yeah.
Yeah. And you have to understand that for Adire, is it different? Like it's not all like fabric that you can use for Adire. The
Mm,
fabric has to be able to hold the dye.
mm,
Getting the right fabric for Adire is also a task. And
mm,
those fabrics are also imported,
mm.
made here. Do you understand? They're not
Yeah.
made here. Getting the right fabric for Adire, because you can use if you use a fabric and when you put it into water, it has washed off. You have
Mm,
to. It's actually a chore to get the right fabric that can hold the dye. And those
mm.
fabrics I mean, made here either.
Oh, wow. So they also, even when we go
Yes,
artisanal, they also have
yes,
they also
yes,
have logistic issues of importing the right
exactly.
cotton
So it's not
to get
just,
started.
it's not when you say, oh, use your local, like the fabric is not made here. It's not
Mm,
made here. So it's like, yeah, okay. What the only good thing is that the dye, the artisans, the
yeah.
skill are like it's local artisans, they're locally made. But the fabric itself, the silk threads that we use to weave our shoke are imported. Yes. The silk threads that we use.
I haven't
Yeah,
thought
the
about
silk
that.
threads. Have you
Haven't
gone
thought about
to have
that.
you
Yeah.
seen them weave ashoke before? The silk threads they have the thing on them made in China.
Ouch. Yeah. So
We don't have any functional
we don't have
textiles
any, yeah.
anymore. They were there in the 90s, right? But they've all closed now. We don't have
Mm,
our own textile manufacturing companies anymore. We don't have one
mm,
in
mm,
Nigeria. So they also face the logistics issue that we face. You
mm.
understand? So I mean, if the problems are
Yeah,
it's
they're
a
like you
lot.
just
It's
pick which
deep.
one you want to tackle
Yeah,
at the
it's
moment.
deep.
Yeah.
Sometimes the Adire people will even tell you, oh, if you can bring your fabric, if you're able to find the fabric,
Oh,
we will die for you.
for
You
you.
understand?
Mm,
So you now have to, you've now been given the task of going to get the right cotton or the right
mm,
brocade to give them
mm,
because they'll tell you, cannot find, we cannot find this thing. I was at well also a Nigerian brand. I was at her pop-up over the weekend and she just kept on complaining because she is strictly batik and Adire. That's all she does. I was at her pop-up over the weekend and she just kept on complaining about well, all my things are not here. Oh, they're still coming from Ibadan on the day of the pop-up. Oh, they're still coming from some things are coming because she was a 2 day pop-up. So they're still coming from Ibadan. Okay. And then when you go through the designs that she had on the rack, the consistency is not the same.
mm,
So like they're
mm,
made on because again, finding the fabric is a challenge. So you see, this is the same print, but this is softer, this
Yeah.
is harder, this is, it's different, but you will never have that issue with, you know, the ones that are printed abroad. You will never have
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
issue. And it's
Yeah.
not to advocate for
Definitely.
abroad, it's just what works.
It's a reality. Yeah.
You have a brand that if your demand is so high, you have to do what you have to do for your brand. At the end of the day, is what your customers want. When your customers are telling you they need this right now, you have to be able to provide them with what they actually want. I love Adire so much. I love batik. In fact, like on a lot of like on it, you can see a lot of our designs, like on silk satin and chiffon and mesh, highlights Adire, highlight tie-dye, highlight batik because of how much I love it. But if I was to wait for the people in Abeokuta to do it for me, I wouldn't have anything to sell. I would love a Nigeria, or I would love a fashion industry where these things were more accessible. People love Nigeria, people love batik and would happily pay a premium for it, but it's not accessible. So
Yeah.
these are the challenges that we face, Yeah.
I think you've just painted a real picture of the realities. And as much as we want to romanticize made in Nigeria, 100% artisanal, there's always going to be an importation level because the base industry just doesn't exist. And I'm gonna talk about infrastructure in a bit. But then one of the things you also mentioned, which you touched on, was the issue of standardization. Ready to wear by definition implies it is a set, it is standardized, the sizing is consistent, either with your local sizing or your global sizing.
Mhm.
Your print, your manufacturing, one size 12 shouldn't be different from size 14, even though,
Yeah.
you're having different size and the cut should be the same. And that is
Mhm.
something that I realized that your brand has been able to overcome quite early on. How was it getting there in terms of, having standardized sizing, and having that level of consistency?
To be honest, I think it's just like, deciding to do it right at the beginning. So one thing that helped was I never wanted to, when we started, I never wanted to produce because I didn't have any expertise in it.
Mm,
I knew that I wanted to make clothes, but I wasn't an expert at making them.
mm,
I could sew, I could sew for
mhm.
myself, but I wasn't an expert at mass producing. So I really wanted to get a manufacturing company to do it for me because that was
Mhm.
also going to educate me on how
Yeah.
mass production worked. And thankfully, God was so God was so gracious to me. I was able to find over the radio, by the way. I was driving and then I just randomly heard this lady talking over the radio about how she had a manufacturing company. Next day, I was at her factory and then I saw firsthand how it worked. You know, I knew that, she was they so I mean like if you're a fashion entrepreneur, like the first thing to do is when you want to make a design is to make a pattern for it.
Mhm.
And then you make a pattern and you cut all the pieces, like okay, size 10 has a pattern. When you graded your patterns out by sizing, you cut all your patterns, like the fabric by the sizes. Simple. That was it. It was like it was as simple as that. You understand? At the time that I started Zephans and Co, I didn't know how to make patterns. I didn't know how to draft patterns. I didn't even know like the complexity of because then I hadn't gone to like when I went to fashion school, I only learned like sketching, making clothes, all of that. I didn't really go into the nitty-gritty of pattern making. So I realized that okay, for this to work, you actually have to either learn pattern making or get a pattern maker so that when you eventually have your own, you can just continue in this light. So what I would say is starting Zephans and Co with a manufacturing company definitely helped
Mm.
because then when we started our own factory, we were just able to continue in that process of pattern making first, and that has really been it. There's no magic to it. It's just when because it's as simple as that. When you have your patterns in the standard size and they cut, it will correspond across board.
Mm.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
talking about industry and manufacturing a bit more. So you mentioned that you started out with kind of having outsourcing your manufacturing, and
Yes.
now have you been able to transition to your own, or do you still run that model
No, no,
where you
no.
out?
Yes, we transitioned. We set up our own. We started making our own clothes in by 2018. But by
Oh, wow.
2018, we're making ours, and we're still outsourcing. But by
Mhm.
2020, we opened our own garment factory
Oh,
and we're
awesome.
making our clothes since then.
And how
Yeah.
has that been? Then having your own full factory full of staff and running people
Has
in
been chaos. It has been chaos. However, I no longer have to deal directly with tailors because I have like
Mm,
staff. I have a production manager. I have a manager, like a factory manager. So they like it goes through them. Everything goes through them before it even gets to me. So a lot of things don't come to me anymore.
mm,
Because they are able to handle. It's only like when big things happen, they bring it to me. But at
mm.
the beginning, it was very difficult because I was the one handling them in 2020. But after a while, I knew that for me to be able to move on to other things, I had to delegate, and it
Yeah,
has worked out. It has worked out. Yeah, we
awesome.
still have our challenges like here and like, once in a while, human errors, but it has been a great experience. I'm not even gonna lie. It has
Yeah,
been
good to
great.
hear that.
And we've
And you
scaled,
are definitely an
scaled.
outlier in this, for sure. Owning your own end-to-end manufacturing and just having to deal with your inbound logistics and your outbound logistics, but everything else in between is within your control. And that
Yes,
is, I mean, that is one of your key strengths and why you've been able to scale compared to other brands. And let's
yes.
let's just dream a bit, right? If we are going to get our government to give you as an advisor, strategic advisor, $10 million tomorrow to fix the most pertinent issue in our fashion industry, and just specifically looking at the ready to wear segment where we are having, production to customers, where would you spend this money?
Honestly, I would create a state of the art. First of all, I would create a state of the art garment factory because there is such a gap for it. The Nigerian, like the fashion industry is worth trillions of dollars. And I know this because we are still not meeting demands. I know this because I have mentees who are looking for garment factories to produce for them daily, right? They have such fantastic ideas, such fantastic pieces that they have created, but they don't have anybody who can. There is literally no one because even the people that I started with, they've closed. They've closed down. Oh, I think the lady relocated, so she had to close down the business, right? When I stopped using them, even while I was still using them, I recommended them to so many people. So while they were closing, some people were able to open their own little, factories and just start their own thing. But there's still several, like when I have my mentee meetings, the biggest problem is where to manufacture. I'm not kidding. I've gone to several factories in Nigeria. I traveled to Cross River State because they also have a big garment factory there. But all the machines are empty. Nobody's managing it properly. And then they tell you they can only make uniforms. They
Is
cannot.
this a private institution or a
No,
public
it's
institution?
government owned, but like by the state, not
Okay.
by the federal government, state owned, right? But it's not being managed properly. They have over I would say at least 500 or 600, maybe 1,000 sewing machines there. They have machines that we don't even have. They have like state of the art machines, but it's like someone just created that factory and said, take anything. If nobody's managing it, nothing is coming out of there. They are very, very, very like they are under capacity. The
Yeah.
kind of clothes, the kind of things that should be coming. I was so disappointed. I was so disappointed. And then there's one in Kwara State Garment Factory as well. I went to that.
Mm,
Like they are not meeting their potential.
mm,
They are not meeting their potential at all. It's almost like when they open, like maybe, somebody has an idea to open a garment factory, they open it,
mm,
and then nobody really wants to do the work of actually bringing it to life.
mm.
Nobody wants to do the work of actually like making it work. What can we do to make this? I was so disappointed. We have the ability. I mean, we have the infrastructure already, but we
Yeah.
have the ability to actually make these things work. But it's almost like people just do it so they can announce that, oh, we have this
Mm,
garment factory in Kwara State. We have this
mhm,
garment factory in Cap. Nobody is actually working. This can be generating billions for the for IGR of IGR, billions of naira of IGR for the
mhm,
for the state.
mhm,
But
mhm,
nobody's is working.
mhm,
Nobody's actually doing anything to make it work. It's just there for decoration.
mm,
will send you
Uh,
after this.
Looking straight to the camera, Cross River and Kwara State government, you guys need to partner with Zephans and Co and come up with a strategy
Like,
to
so
build out our manufacturing process. Don't leave the assets
yes.
idle. Mm.
Yes, I honestly wish we had something like that in Lagos. Well, maybe because these are like, I'll send
Understand.
you the videos. These are like big. They're sitting on a large expanse of land, but nothing.
Mm.
Nothing is coming out of there. Imagine having over 500 sewing machines and maybe only 25 are working.
Do you think it's an issue of labor, skilled labor,
It's
and
not
just
an issue
general
of skill
disinterest?
labor. It's an
Okay.
issue of management, as with almost everything that happens in Nigeria. Is an issue of management because like my factory we have what maybe like 100 sewing machines, and we have people that come in to say, please, do you have empty machine? I would like
Mm.
to work.
Yeah.
And my factory is in a very obscure location.
Mm.
In a very obscure, it's not out there in the open.
Yeah.
So it's not a matter of skilled labor. There are people who are willing to work. There
So
are
you
people who
would
are willing to work. I
you
will
you
put
would
that
would you
money
just put all
in.
the knowing
No,
now that the issue is not necessarily
no,
infrastructure, I
no.
mean, giving back to our $10 million hypothesis. Carry on.
Obviously, I would create a state-of-the-art garment factory.
Yeah.
I'll create a textile, well, not textile, but like a garment printing factory,
Mm.
right? And we have to figure out logistics one way or the other. And I say these things because these are like my challenges.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I'm able to like when I think about like how do I explain this? Like I'm able to create new things from our problems.
Mm.
Because when we have problems internally, I think of how can we solve it.
Mm.
Obviously, I cannot solve the logistics one because
Yeah.
we don't have that money,
Yeah. It's
right?
above a
You know,
pay band.
I would approach Airpiece. I would approach the man and say, sir, what will it cost for Airpiece to start? Okay, what are the countries that Airpiece flies to
Mm.
internationally? And I know that they said they're going to start going to Houston soon, which is America.
Mm.
They already go
Oh,
to London.
huge
What will it
population,
cost?
Nigerian population as well in Houston.
Yes. What will it cost for Nigeria for us to set up a logistic company with Airpiece or a
Mm.
cargo company or something where Airpiece carries the cargo when it gets to the destination, another company picks it up and dispatches. What will it cost? That would
Another
imagine.
soundbite to you, Airpiece. You need to get
I
in here
mean,
and
so
take this
that
opportunity in
and
terms
then
of logistics.
yeah, that's that. Another thing would be garment printing. I spend a lot of like let me say okay, let's not talk numbers, but Zephans and Co spends a lot of money in importing our
Printing.
custom printed fabric, right? And then you're paying dollars for it. You're spending so much money to also bring it in, right? If you're able to create a company where you say, guys, it's now here. Oh." I know that a lady started it on a small scale.
I saw
It
that.
is
Yeah.
here, yeah, it's here now. We can now print it, but you don't have to change money to dollars anymore. It's now at your doorstep. You can print, and because there's so much money, because you're investing a lot of money, the price will be good. The price will be good. You're telling fashion designers that see there's now an availability. You print your custom fabric, it's at your doorstep. 2 days, you have your fabric with you. You don't have to wait, no long wait times, no more changing money to dollars. Your business will boom. Your business. So you can see like these are opportunities that the government, because most of the time when people talk fashion, you just think everybody's looking for oil and gas. Everybody's looking for agriculture.
No, no.
These are businesses that will increase the state's IGR.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
understand? Because have you been on Instagram? Have you seen the amount of fashion designers we have? And they are all selling.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
all selling. So yeah, that's
Which brings me to one. So I'll do a recap of what you said. If you had this amount, you would first of all, invest in more of our state-of-the-art garment factories. You would invest also in logistics, maybe partnering better with our local airlines that are flying abroad, and then having that channel for alternative, breaking the monopoly from DHL.
yes.
And then thirdly, you would also invest in garment prints. And I think those three would be, I mean, for me, the first one is really, I think the one where a lot of money will go to and you have like the quickest return. But then also a call out to our government as well in terms of this infrastructure that they are building. It's not just pipe projects. Let's put it to work. All right. So still on the investment base, there was something you mentioned about just the sheer number of designers that we have. If you go on Instagram, there's a lot of them, and and they're selling. So clearly there is a strong market. Do
Mm-hmm.
you think the market is mature enough from an investment perspective? Do you think the market is mature enough for consolidation? So where you have an investment fund focused on the fashion industry coming in, buying all the smaller brands, helping them scale and standardize, and forming some of our own groups. So the same way you have like the Boohoo group, which has Karen Millen and all the brands underneath, and Next. Do you think we are ready for that in the Nigerian scene yet?
Well, in all honesty, I feel yes, absolutely. We already even have fashion funds. I know that there's one that BOI does. There's another one that the Lagos Fashion Week founder Omiyemi Akerele. There's also one that I know that she's talked about in the past, you know. So we already have fashion funds, you know, we already have fashion funds like who are giving Nigerian designers money to scale. You know, now in terms of consolidation, I think that would I don't know I because I currently don't know any brands who have been consolidated yet. I don't know, but in terms of being ready, I believe that we're absolutely ready.
Mm.
We're absolutely ready, but I don't know that we have anybody who has done it yet,
Yeah,
right? But for
yeah,
fashion funds, absolutely. And I've seen it. I've seen it. We've seen Nigerian brands. You've seen like Orange Culture. You've
yeah.
seen what's it called? What's this brand called? I forgot the name. But I've seen like a couple Nigerian
Mhm.
brands blossom from, you
Yeah.
know, maybe like an investment or maybe like an accelerator that they want
Incubation, yeah, incubation, yeah.
innovation program. Kenneth Isaac, you know, like we have
Mm.
Nigerian fashion designers who are doing amazing things internationally. Oh my gosh, this guy, Ifeanyi Nwunne. I don't know if you've heard Iron Official, you know, I follow
Mhm.
some of them. So I see like you see how, you know, because of some incubation that they joined, you know, they were
Yeah,
able to scale, they're able to now open their brand, you know, to like international, like to an international audience. I saw that Orange Culture was doing a fashion show in Germany.
yeah,
I saw that Iron was doing a fashion show in Paris. You
yeah.
know, so
Isigo was
Nigerian.
also in Copenhagen for, yeah,
Yes, Nigerian brands were there. We're
yeah,
absolutely there. We are
yeah,
absolutely there. It's such a like Nigerian. Have you Nigerian designers are talented. My
yeah.
goodness, look at Kilenta. You know, Banker
And North
Kuku.
Star,
There's
yeah.
so many. There's so many. Like there's so many of us who are doing amazing things, and then it just really shows up and coming designers what is possible.
Hmm. And so maybe where we are is focusing on incubation and acceleration through
Yes.
structured programs versus
Yes.
roll-ups. I think
Yes.
roll-ups will still come down further down the line because you need to have a business case for the synergies you're going to get if you're combining brands together. And that
Yes.
may be through your vertical integration where say the same fund owns, they own the garment manufacturing.
Yes.
They
Yes.
have their strong supply chain where they're able to import fabric and they're able to spread across all these brands and still
Yes.
help them maintain some level of profitability and growth. But that'll be
Yes.
interesting to see. That
And
would be one for,
another
yeah.
thing that stands out to me is that most of these funds, majority of them, the ones that I have seen, are foreign owned.
Hmm.
You know, they're foreign owned. Like, you know, like you see a brand come in, take a Nigerian brand, and then next thing you see, they're selling in Nordstrom, they're selling in
Hmm.
what's it called, Zalando, they're selling in, you know, in all these other like a big
Yeah,
brand
retail spaces.
like retail giants, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I really wish that the Nigerian government can see what these other people see in us, because imagine what a game changer it will be, you know, because all these people, and that is really what makes Nigerian brands want to focus on the global market,
Global market.
because
Yeah.
it kind of seems like those are the people who are interested in growing your business.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Because
Hmm.
imagine like, you know, I went to what's it called? I went to some it's called Fever. It's like a fair, like an exhibition where designers from all over the world bring their designs in the UK. I went there last year. In the UK, you bring your designs, and then buyers from all over the world come and look at all these gigantic exhibition, and it's all designers. And then you have fashion buyers from all over the world coming to look at your brand, look at this, look at, you know, and then people are actually taking your number to say. And then from there, you see people, some people, depending on the level of your brand, some people go on. ASOS. Some people go on Moda. Some people go on Sense. Some people go on Revolve. From that exhibition, imagine that we had something like that in Nigeria. Just
Mm.
imagine. Imagine that we had something that's of that scale in Nigeria. Do you understand? So my thing is, I really wish that the government would actually would start looking at fashion or Nigerian fashion for what it is.
Mm.
It's a $1 billion market.
Mm.
So much can come
Yeah.
out of it, as opposed to, again, oil and gas and agric.
Mm. Mm.
There's money here,
Yeah.
guys.
All money is going to finish someday.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I was at that fair and I was just like, wow. We had people from ASOS approach us, but please, the reason why we could not even do it was because we could not meet their demand.
Mm. Demands or
We
specifications?
could not meet their demand, like what they were asking for.
The
You
MOQs
understand the
or
MOQs, and because
ah.
so how it works is if they're going to order like an outfit, they order like a certain amount, which is huge, and then they need like a 60-day sale period before they pay you.
Oh. Mm.
That's how it works. Other brands are able to do it, like other countries, people are able to do it because maybe they have government support or
Mm-hmm.
they're able to get loans or something. But I'm just like,
The working capital requirements will be a lot
it was a lot.
to
So I'm
churn
just
out
like,
that
if you
fast.
do this for ASOS, we will not have anything to sell in Nigeria.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have anything to sell in Nigeria. So it was something that we just put in the back burner and never went back
Mm.
to. You
Mm.
understand? Yeah. So that's like, these are the issues. These are the issues. These are the challenges that, we
Yeah.
face. I really wish that the Nigerian government was as invested in Nigerian creative economy than in these other things. Or as much as, not than, like as much as they're interested in like other aspects of the economy as well.
Mm.
Because we can also be bringing in that money.
I've loved this segment where we're just kind of like going into problem solving mode. But I'm going to just switch it up a bit more
Okay.
and coming to customers and pricing. I think you have very loyal fans. And one thing that I also see with your brand is that you do have lots of repeat customers who are kind of like your brand evangelists. Let's talk about money a bit and the Nigerian customers. Do you think the Nigerian customers are ready, really ready to pay for what it actually costs to make quality clothes here?
They already
Um,
do.
they
Niger-
already do.
They already do.
Hmm.
Nigerians buy big brand. Nigerian would pay 800,000 naira for a dress.
Hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
Nigerians actually spend money on Nigerian women. Let me say
Hmm. Yeah.
Nigerian women spend money on fashion, and I know because I've seen it.
Yeah.
Nigerian women spend money on fashion, a lot of money. So let me talk about the bigger brands, like the bigger brands like in terms of pricing,
The price point.
right?
Yeah.
In terms of the price points, the Banke Kuku, Emi Casbits, Ejiro Amos, Tafiri, Niovo, these are like, in terms of pricing, they are way higher than Zephans and Co.
Hmm.
They're in business. The
Yeah.
business is running. Nigerian women they want to look good
Yeah.
and they want value for what they're paying. That's what
Hmm.
I've come to realize. Customers just want value. If you tell me, okay, this dress is 800,000 naira, let me see it in the out. Where
Hmm.
the problem is where they pay that much and then you don't give them value.
Hmm.
If I'm buying a dress of 800,000 naira, I don't want to see a broken seam.
Zipper. Hmm.
No,
Okay.
I
As
want
long
the.
as you can deliver, they will pay.
Oh, I didn't mention Andrea Yama. She is. I
Oh,
bought an
yeah.
Yama set deal, and when it came, so you don't even think about that money that you spent because the packaging, like how it comes, is you can already tell from the packaging that this
Hmm.
dress is absolutely what you see. You get your value just from receiving that package. The experience is amazing. I think that Andrea Yama is probably one of the Nigerian brands that I've been so excited to shop from.
Hmm.
And the experience, in fact, my best shopping experience has been from Andrea Yama. for a Nigerian brand or
Oh,
Nigerian
awesome.
owned brand. Because
Own
I won't call
brand,
her brand a Nigerian brand per se,
which
but
is
she's
because
a
yeah, she's
like
gonna
she's
be
Nigerian.
global. Yeah, yeah. That's
That is
interesting.
that's one brand that I have been, I would say the experience was top tier. Yes. So Nigerians would
Good call
definitely,
out, Andrea Yama. Good call
yes,
out to the brand. Yeah,
yes,
awesome.
like please take all your flowers. It's amazing. You can already see that spirit of excellence
Hmm,
just from receiving the packaging. You can see the intentionality that went into what I want the customer to experience.
hmm.
You know? Yeah. So Nigerians are absolutely ready. Nigerians are absolutely, but are designers ready to give Nigerians the value for the money that they spend? That's the real question.
Yeah. And where do you get, I know this is such a cliched question in terms of where you get your inspiration from. Is it more from, because your brand, if I also describe your brand one word, is also very celebratory. So you really showed, I think one of your from me monitoring your brand, like a monitoring spirit,
Mhm.
I think one of the moments where you kind of like had the big blow was your Christmas drops, very celebratory one. I think I always remember the one with SAS. Even I saw it on LinkedIn actually, not even Instagram.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it felt so, I think that was when I saw the concept of, you building a very celebratory brand. And going forward, that has kind of been like DNA of the brand. Is this something where you got the input from the customers, or is this, what is feeding the inspiration? Is it customers
Me.
first or
This
from you?
celebration, yes, me. Because I'm someone who's big on celebrate. I celebrate everything. If you tell me, oh, I got a new job, best believe we're going out. Oh, I did this. Oh, I passed this exam. Oh, I did. I mean, like that has been me. And I always say that a lot of times a brand usually reflects the founder. It's
Hmm.
something I've also come to notice. Like a brand, like, how a brand works, usually you can almost see the person who owns the brand in how the brand works. So in terms of being celebratory, that's because that's who I am. I celebrate everything. I'm a very positive person. I'm very optimistic,
Hmm.
So no
Love
matter
that.
what I'm going through, or no matter what challenges that the brand is facing, I always hope for the best. I
Hmm.
always hope for the best outcome. That's who I am. I like my friends think that I'm a little bit too much, a little bit over the top, because someone will say, "Oh my,
Quiet. You look so quiet and taciturn and like very, I would
oh
have
no,
put you for an
I'm definitely
introvert,
not quiet.
just the way you carry
100%.
yourself.
Oh no, no, definitely not a quiet person. That I can tell you for sure. But I celebrate even the smallest,
I
even the
love that.
wins that you don't even, well, even the fact that you came out of the hospital, you had malaria, you were admitted, oh, let's go for dinner. Oh, I'm coming to your house, we're doing games night. That's who I am.
I
That's who
love
I am. I always take every opportunity to host, so I love it. It's just a way of life for me because I feel like life is already so hard. Life is already like it's always, especially as an adult now, like even not as a brand owner, as an adult, it's always something. Then when you become a parent, it's just always when you're finishing this one, you're going to the next. It's just so if you do not take time to intentionally have a good time, life will just pass. And you find out that you're spending your entire life fixing problems and not actually like enjoying yourself. So that's the way I live my life. I always like to say, I always like to do something. You'd see like on the page, sometimes I would just be like, oh, let's do happy hour at the store. So on a Friday, we have cocktails come and serve drinks. We do that, We do that at Zephans and Co. Like, oh, we'll just put an announcement. Oh, this Friday we're having happy hour. So any customer that comes to the store has a cocktail to drink. That's how I am. That's just it's sometimes it's random. Sometimes it's just okay, let's just what can we do to make customers happy? And honestly, I it has worked out.
And I
It
think it's
has.
also led to a level of consistency because I'm thinking about it the other way around. If you're trying to satisfy what your customers want, then you're kind of shifting your goalposts from time to time. Because I remember you also did kind of start with workwear in the beginning and you shifted from that. And then, you just stuck to this whole, celebratory thing. It shows in the colors, the ruffles, the feathers that you use, the material, and it's just lend that consistency. So even though the designs are varied, the theme of Zephans and Co. I'm thinking about a party. I'm thinking about a good time. I'm thinking about a holiday. It's
Absolutely.
it's it's worked.
Yeah,
It's
it did.
worked.
It did.
Awesome.
I just honestly just followed what I wanted and it has been because when I started it, like you said, it was workwear, but that's not
Mhm.
me. That's not really what I wanted. That's not really like that's not really that's not really the vision that I had. But when I started following the vision that I had, it has been phenomenal. It has been phenomenal. Yeah.
A good advice to people starting their own fashion brand is really just
Yeah,
two
I would
things.
say
Yeah.
listen to your customers. Listen to your
Mm-hmm.
customers. Just make sure you never deviate from your brand's vision. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
listen to your customers, like it's very important because at the end of the day, they're the ones who, keep you in business. But whatever you do, just make sure that your brand, your eye still remains on the vision.
On the vision. And
Mhm.
are we going to, in terms of like what the future pipeline looks down like, are we going to see, another price point in terms of a premium range where you're going with even more expensive fabric? I know the core DNA of the brand is, accessibility at all points, but then do you think there's an opportunity for you as well to just, take it a bit higher in terms of your pricing and in terms of um your collection?
Even if we did, it will not be Zephans and Co. It will be a different
Mhm.
brand. I
Okay.
want Zephans and Co. to always be that brand that people can afford.
Can
Yeah,
afford.
it will not be Zephans.
Affordability will still always remain yeah.
Exactly. It would be a completely different brand.
Okay, great. And do you also see yourself, even in the whole celebrity thing, do you also see, adjacent businesses that could pivot with the Zephan's brand?
Yes.
Um,
Yeah, we actually have one coming up in January because we turned
oh,
10 in
awesome.
January. We have a new company that is, that will now run. I mean, it's like
Oh,
yeah, but I wouldn't tell you.
okay,
I'll
don't
wait.
tell. I
I'll
would be like this waiting to see.
wait to see. And yeah, I think by the end of January it should be up and running.
Oh,
Yeah. We have a new
I can't, definitely can't wait to see that.
yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
be looking out.
Yeah.
Um, just to wrap up on a lighter note, if you could dress one Nigerian celebrity and
Nigerian?
one global celebrity, who
Okay.
would you pick?
Nigerian will be Genevieve. Najee.
Ah, timeless.
She's never won Zephans and Co. And that is one. She's never. Everybody that I want to play Zephans and Co has won Zephan in Nigeria has won Zephans and Co except Genevieve.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. So
absolutely Genevieve. Nobody else. Like nobody even
putting
comes.
that on the mood board
It's on my mood board already. When I pray, she's right there. She's right there.
to get Zephans and Co's on. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
definitely, I mean, her aesthetic is
Like
versatile, so she can
like
wear
Genevieve
anything.
represents first of all. Like she's that girl.
Yeah.
Genevieve is just that girl. She's that girl that's when she comes, like when she steps out, it's like, oh my God, we're happy to see you, ma.
We're happy to see you. Yeah. And
We're
then
just
everybody
happy that you
records.
blessed us. You graced us with your presence. We're so happy for this post that you made on Instagram. We're
Yeah.
just so excited and honored to just, be in your presence. That's who
Yeah.
Genevieve is. I love that about her.
It's like the old school celebrity, those days where you only read about them in magazines, but now like social
Yeah.
media makes everybody so
Yes,
accessible.
yes. And
She's,
social
yeah,
media doesn't make her feel accessible at
yeah.
all. You
It even
still
lends
feel
to her
like
mystery. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Genevieve,
And
absolutely
global celebrity, who would that be? Please don't say Zendaya. I love
yeah,
Zendaya, but please don't say Zendaya.
Beyonce. It's Beyonce.
Ah,
Nobody
yeah.
else.
I mean, I
Nobody
mean,
else come
I
because
mean. uh,
Beyonce embodies excellence.
yeah.
She embodies like she's it. She's like the level of excellence I aspire to be. Beyonce,
Oh,
definitely.
cool. And if you could look at your twin, I have an answer in my head, but I wanted to get your thoughts. So if you're a Nigerian brand, but if there was a global brand that was like your twin, what brand would that be?
Oh
What
my
brand do
God.
you think mirror or mirrors you the most, even in terms of
I don't,
your,
I don't know. I've never thought about
can I
it.
tell you what I'm thinking
Tell
about?
me, tell me.
Roberto Cavalli,
Really?
the
You think
prince,
so?
the
Oh
prince, the
yes.
prince, the audaciousness of the prince,
Yes. Oh
the
my
boldness,
God.
the
I never thought
feathers.
about it.
Roberto Cavalli is one that I just thought like,
You are actually so they're just thinking about Roberto Cavalli now. It's like, wow. It's not something I ever thought about. I'm not
yeah,
even joking.
yeah, yeah. And they also do sets. Like that's
Mhm.
another thing. Like they're
Yes,
so famous for
yes,
their
yes.
sets.
I mean,
They went bold with leopard prints.
yes, and oh my
Very,
goodness.
very Samantha Sex and the City.
I
Yep.
feel like I'm gonna pay more attention now. I'm
Yeah.
gonna pay more attention now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna read on them and see, just see what we
Yeah.
can also tap into from there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
God, thank you for that. That's such a compliment. Thank
No,
you.
but I mean, it's what it is. You have that is that celebratory theme.
Yes.
And then one more for if you weren't running Zephans and Co, what would you be doing?
Hmm. I'll either be an actor or a marketing executive.
Did you say actor?
Yes. Yes, I'm not
You
joking.
do actually, you do have that 90s old school,
I'm not
the days
joking.
of Eukarya vibe.
Marketing executive. What if the acting, not acting, you cannot really decide whether you make it
Yeah.
or not. If that didn't work out, I'll be a marketing exec because I feel like I can sell anything.
Yeah.
I absolutely feel like I can sell anything. So I'll either be
What
that.
kind of character do you think you play in Nollywood?
I don't even
More of
know.
the
But I just kind of
Eukarya.
feel like I'll
But
do well there.
you have a classic vibe to you. So I'm not even thinking about the new age act. When you said acting,
Oh
I'm not
no,
thinking
no, no,
about the
no.
new
I'm
age
talking
actresses.
like
I'm going straight to
all the Rita
Eukarya.
Dominic era,
Yeah.
UK, Oge, Okoye, like
Yeah.
those people. No, no, not. I mean, new school is great, but them because obviously, like that's kind of
That's
what
what
shaped
we
our
grew up with
childhood. That's
when
exactly
our
what
first
shaped our
experience in
childhood.
Nollywood.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely what I'm thinking. I'm thinking about old Nollywood
Yeah.
here,
I could literally see you in a movie with, um, Rita, maybe Eukarya will play your mother, and they'll
you know, I would actually
Arantino
validate
is your
my
uncle.
mother. I would actually worry, but yeah, definitely that or marketing
Yeah.
executive, one
Yeah.
of the two.
You should, maybe now I mentioned her name, you should find her up and do a collab with her, like one
Who's
for the
this? You mean
Goldies,
you mean
the
you
gold, the
carry?
Golden Collection,
Honestly, there is nothing
the Golden Nollywood Collection,
oh,
starring
there is
Eukarya.
nothing that I would love. That is a fantastic idea.
Yeah. If you
That
do
is actually
it,
a
if you do it,
fantastic
run me a
idea.
check.
I will, I promise.
The old and golden
Oh
collection
my God,
featuring
we
our
could
Nollywood
we could
stars.
actually
Oh
do
my
that
God, it will be amazing.
today.
Yeah, and then we get Bimba Akitola, and we get who else again? Like, just look for the cast of Domitila
Oh my God, it will be so good.
or Glamour Girls, the cast of Glamour Girls, and then oh my gosh, it will be so good. It
It
will be
will,
so good.
it
It will
will
be
be.
so good. We can talk about it after the show.
Yeah, I'm gonna write that down. Actually, I'll write it down. We're just thinking about it. I mean, I'm like, people would love to see
People would
them.
love it. The millennials will go crazy. Gen Z, Gen X will go crazy.
Go
It will
crazy.
be wicked.
Just a little capsule, nothing too crazy,
Yeah,
nothing
yeah,
too
yeah,
much,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. I mean, you're already you're already collaborating with Nollywood. So,
Yeah.
anywho, I'm so glad that we're kind of wrapping up the interview on such a high creative buzz note. This has been such an amazing time with you, Nkiru. I love your brand. I'm not just saying that because I'm speaking with you. I celebrate what you guys are doing, and then there's just so much more that I see that you guys are going to get to. You've been the one brand when we think about ready to wear in terms of accessible ready to wear, and I hope that you guys get the level of skill that you want and even the right exposure that you want down the line. But thank you so much for being on our session today.
Amen. Thank you, my love. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here for that. Thank you for, I mean, I'm so happy that we did this. I'm so happy that I did it. I'm so happy, because I realized that I actually really enjoy talking about, these things. Challenges.
Valuable things to say.
Yes, but I always, for some reason, I just always run away from it. But
Hmm.
yeah, more of this, more
Okay.
of this, more of this. Thank you for having me. Thank you for thinking about me, and thank you for loving the brand. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you so much. All right. Has been such a wonderful session on the front row with Nkiru, the founder of Zephans and Co, ready to wear brand straight out of Nigeria. If you love this episode, subscribe, share with friends, and share with someone who loves the fashion industry. And follow us for more. Goodbye.